Now, thank you so much for staying with us here on Food Thursday. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. At Amoy Brian on Twitter at LookUpTV. We are also live on Facebook, or you can send us an SMS on 20374. Now, on our food feature tonight, we are talking about coconut fish. Now, there is fish, and then there's coconut fish. Osewe restaurant in Westlands Nairobi serves multiple dishes, but is known for one particular dish, coconut fish. On our food feature tonight, we take a look at their menu and why coconut fish is the best-selling dish on that menu. Also, some of the dishes that they offer and why that particular service, for example, why should we be served coconut fish with brown ugali, or better yet, white chapati, greens, and wet chicken? Here is that feature story. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Food Thursday. Once again, my name is Brian Amwai. Now, we are here at Osewe restaurant in Westlands. They say they are known for fish, and coconut fish to be exact. Now, we are here to understand what goes into preparing that coconut fish and why it is one of the best-selling products, or rather food, that they have here in this restaurant. Now, Kevo.
Yes.
What are we seeing on this table right now? You say just general, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? We start from here.
Okay, this is coconut fish. Coconut fish is the dry fry fish. Dry fish. After imechomwa na mafuta imekaushwa, then inapikwa na ile maziwa ya nazi.
Maziwa ya nazi. So maziwa ya nazi lazima ifanywe nini ndio?
Maziwa ya nazi inakunwa, ni ile nazi yenyewe tunajua nazi, hiyo fruit. Then inakunwa. After kukunwa, hiyo maji yake inasqueeziwa. Sio maziwa yake ndio tunapika nayo samaki.
Wow, awesome. So unaipika nini nyingine unaongeza ndio tukue na coconut fish?
Tukue na coconut fish. So after hiyo maziwa nazi umesha squeeze. So umebaki na maziwa peke yake ya nazi. Then unaika kwa sufuria. Then kuna kale ka paste, hiyo nyanya umekatengeneza. Unakaka kidogo. So kishaika kidogo hivyo unaanza kuipika. Unachukua fish yenyewe umeshikausha. Unaika kwa coconut, kwa hiyo maziwa sasa. So inaiva mpaka inatengenezwa hiyo coconut.
Inatoka hivi.
Yes, yeah.
Kuna kitu kingine tunaongeza ndani?
Nivo tuna chumvi kidogo tu. Nothing else. Maziwa tu ya nazi na nyanya kidogo na samaki yenyewe.
Na sasa mnasema hii hapa ndio inauza sana.
Yes.
Watu wanapenda hii. Nini inafanya watu wanapenda hii na si lingine?
Okay. Unajua unapoambia mtu nazi, anataka kujua exact ni hiyo nazi aina gani, cause unapata wengi kutumia coconut fish wanaongeza maziwa, hii maziwa ya kawaida ama unaenda unanunua supermarket, but unapata sisi wenyewe tunajitengenezea. Yes, tunakalia mbuzi, tunaikuna.
So hiyo process yote ni nyinyi mnafanya?
Yes, hiyo process yote ni sisi tunadu.
Okay. That's why watu wanaipenda sana. Unasema hiyo ndio siri mbona watu wanapenda sana?
Na samaki yenyewe, taste ya samaki.
Taste ya samaki. Inatoka wapi?
Tunatoa Lake Victoria. Unajua samaki ni mingi. Unaweza enda mahali pengine upate samaki but ile taste yake, cause kuna samaki zingine za China, unaona.
Why is that China wanasema ni plastic?
No. Okay, inaweza ya China ni samaki inakaa kama hii ndio, lakini ile taste yake ya ndani ndio different. Iko flat.
Iko flat.
Kabisa.
Ndio nakwambia watu wanasema ni plastic. So I would like to comment.
Hapo hivyo kwa plastic, siwezi comment, but taste yake ukiangalia pia ukikula hiyo samaki ya China.
Victoria ni better.
The best.
Sierra ni best.
Is the best.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if fish ya coconut inasaviwa na ugali ya brown.
Yes.
Kwa nini?
Okay.
Mbona tunaangalia hii setup hivi, unaona? Because nikiangalia hii setup nyingine hapa, naona hii fish hii tutaongelea hiyo fish ndio?
Yes.
But sasa imesaviwa na ugali ya white. Hapa tuko na ugali ya brown.
Ugali ya brown. Okay, most people wana prefer hiyo sauce ya coconut. Unaona hiyo maziwa. Cause unajua ugali ya brown kule ikuange hard.
Ni rahisi.
Ni rahisi tu ukienda. Na unataka umalize hiyo sauce yako. Kuliko ukule samaki, then hiyo nazi cause ndamitaka sana aiache kwa sahani. So tuna prefer kuserve, most customer wana prefer serve na the brown ugali.
Okay. Alright, sasa tumeunderstand bona hii inaenda na hii. Wacha tuende pale next. Hiyo tunaona next hii fish next ni fish gani sasa?
In wet fish.
Wet fish.
Yes.
Meaning
in wet fish meaning imechomwa alafu ikatengenezwa hiyo nyanya, tomatoes. So imepikwa nayo.
Imepikwa na even hiyo ndio wet fish inakaa.
Yes, wet fish. Unajua kwa nyumba tumezoea tunabai samaki, tunapika lakini maji mingi, Sasa hii stew ni wet.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, is it stew in wet fish?
Yeah, wet fish.
Okay. So unaweka maji lakini
Unaweka maji kidogo tu. Kiasi tu. Yaani ya koroga hiyo nyanya peke yake. Kwa unajua nyanya bado pia iko na maji yake. Yes.
So ndio inatokea thick hivyo.
Inatokea thick hivyo.
Na mbona ugali ya white? Pale nimekuuliza mbona ile imeenda brown, hapa tumeka white.
Okay, ukiangalia pia kuna different. Ukiangalia la coconut iko na sauce yake, of which hiyo maziwa. Na hiyo unapata tu ni iko white. So una prefer ugali ya white. Ndio unakula na hiyo tomato yako polepole na samaki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, unaweza sema kati ya ugali ya white na ugali ya brown gani better?
Better ni ugali ya brown.
Better ni ugali ya white sana.
Ugali ya brown. Unajua ugali ya brown iko na energy. Alafu tena unajua wale wasee wameelewa nyumbani akikuja mahali hapa anahitaji hapa hivi tunafanya chakula ile traditional, unaona. So yes. So msaki sikia traditional food, I expect ukula nini ugali ya white na kwa restaurant. Cause yes, hii ugali ya white tunapikiwa home. Tena uende kwa restaurant ndishi ugali ya white. Yeah, cause unapoenda kwa restaurant unataka ukule ile kitu yenye au kulangi kwako, una get. Yeah.
Si ile kitu unaweza pika kwa rahisi home, ndio?
Ukweli.
Au unaanda pia ile inaendanga sana coconut.
Yeah.
Alright. Ile ni?
Hii ni chili.
Hiyo chili sasa ni ya kuweka kokote?
Yes, unaweka popo kwa chakula. Yaani kuongeza kale ladha sasa. Yes.
Yeye anatumia kama apele.
Yeah. Kuliko sasa ile green chili tunatengeneza tunaka blend kidogo. Tunaongeza na tomato. Yeah.
Okay. Tuangalie pale. Nataka ku understand.
Yes.
Mbona hapa niko na I think hii ni beef.
Yes, yeah. Hii ni kunde, traditional vegetable, kunde.
Kunde but niko na confuse kama ni.
Yeah, hii ni kunde.
Sasa hii ni kunde, hii ni rice.
Hii ni rice.
So tumesavaje hivi? Mbona tuna serve rice, kunde na beef?
Na beef.
Na sometimes mimi huonaga hii beef na hii
kunde
inaweza enda kwa na
ugali. So ukiangalia beef yenyewe iko ile kasup thick. So hii tunaita wet fry beef, wet fry. Yes. Iko na kale kasup ka thick.
So chakula hii ukipika fish yenye iko na thick soup yake ni thick. Na bado beef hiyo tunaita wet fry.
No. Ina depend. Kuna ile samaki stew. Na bado kuna hii wet fry. So wet fry ni ile tu hadi unafanya kale kama doido tu kidogo tu alafu kajina kanabadilika, unaona. So unapa hii ni beef wet fry na hii ndio standard yetu, cause unajua kienda kwa restaurant nyingi by the time unaitishwa wet fry beef unaweza letewa maybe ile dry fry ile imekauka kabisa, of which hiyo wezitisha na rice ama na mchele. So unapata hii wet fry unaweza kula na karis kako na kamboga of which ni kunde. No, venye uta choose. But na rice
nyinyi mna advice mtu akambani kana kamboga kidogo.
Kamboga hivyo kidogo. Then na rice ama chapo. Cause chapo pia inaenda vizuri. Cause ukiona kuna ka stew au ka wet.
Mimi napenda chapo, I think ningeenda ka chapo juu rice sionangi kaina shika tumbo.
Lakini ukitaka ile chakula light, najua unarudi kwa ofisi.
This seems too light. Mali inatoka.
Yes.
Where I come from ni allow kukula vitu light. Hata kama mimi ni mlight hivi.
But unajua unaweza kuwa unarudi kwa ofisi na unataka tu ile kitu ya haraka.
Chakula inashika tu. Chakula ni ile inashika. Yes. I think I set iko hapa. I set iko hapa ni ini one of the zeno kwa ite movie.
Yes.
Tunaangalia nini hapa? Unaona?
Hii
alafu mimi niko curious. Na vile tuna serve nuggets. Juu tuko na kamboga. Hii mboga ni managu, si ndio?
Hii ni managu ya.
Angalia.
Managu with milk. Iko na ka cream.
Iko na
managu with milk.
Sio cream, ni unataka
so, hii ni managu ya maziwa. Yes, after imekarangwa, alafu ni kwa maziwa, inaiva nayo. Yes, inashika. Then in wet fry fish, wet fry chicken.
Oh, chicken. Yeah,
wet fry chicken. So, wet fry chicken ndio umeona tumeserve na chapati. Unajua unajiuliza mbona na ina stew.
Exactly, nataka kuuliza mbona
na ina stew.
Hata simbo na stew mbona na chapo hivi. Vile tu nimeuliza pale, mbona na rice na ama ni mali inatoka ndio inaniallow kufikiria hivyo. Inaweza kuwa na maybe pia unajua mwanaume anahitaji kitu strong. Nimesema chakula inashika tumbo.
Yes.
Hiyo ndio bwana.
Yeah.
Okay, so tuambie
this kind of service. Kiangalia wet fry chicken unaona iko na ile gravy, unaona? Na pia bado iko na mboga. So hata by the time unakula na chapo haikupatii hard time. Because by the time unachukua chapo yako na gravy na kamboga, maisha inasonga. Unaona? Inateremka tu. Yeah. So ikupatii hard time ati ni dry. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So hapo tumemaliza. So kwa hii table, mtu ataka kusosi anaenda na gani sana?
Kusos coconut fish. Coconut fish is the best. Yeah.
Umepigia debe hii kitu.
Imeweza. Inaweza hiyo.
Thanks man. Nashukuru.
Karibu.
So there you have it man. Food Thursday here. We have coconut fish and some brown ugali. We have wet fish and some white ugali. We have sauce. We have wet beef, a little bit of rice and kunde there, and we have wet chicken with chapati, served with chapati and some managu. This is Food Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Banamwai. Let's do this again next time. Now, if you want coconut fish, you know where to get it. Yeah. Now, that feature story, or rather, coconut fish brings us to our second break here on Food Thursday. I'll be back with that discussion that I promised you earlier. Stay tuned. Now, thank you so much for staying with us here on Look Up TV Food Thursday. And I promised you earlier, we're having a discussion on how it has been hard for the hotel industry, or rather the hospitality industry, to conduct business during this pandemic period. Now, family vacations came to a halt. Business travels became a theory. An overall desire to stay home to protect oneself from the pangs of COVID-19, and also the government's directive to have the hotels, restaurants, and lodges close business left the hospitality industry with empty drawers and vacant rooms. Now, in an attempt to make ends meet, some suffered losses, others having to lose their jobs, others laid off staff. Many hotels and restaurants are still trying to figure out ways to stay afloat. What lessons were learned, and moving forward, are we ready? We spoke to Stacy Osewe, the Director of Operations, Osewe Restaurants in Westlands Nairobi, on how COVID-19 affected the food business, and if at all, she is seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Here is that interview. Now, thank you so much, Stacy Osewe, for having us here on Osewe Westlands. You are the Director of Operations here, right? Now, we are here to talk about the COVID-19 and how it has affected the hotel industries, the restaurants and all that. Before we get into that, tell us a little bit about this place.
My name is Stacy Osewe. I'm the Operations Director, as you've mentioned, of Osewe in Westlands. We are located off Mvoli Road. Just enter Osewe Westlands on the maps and it will bring you right to our doorstep. We offer an array of African dishes, prepared organically, spice-free. Yes. You don't have any details, like we say? No, we don't use the paste. As fresh as it comes from farm to table. Yes, that's what we aim to do. Yes. Now,
Stacy, you are in this industry, and this industry is one of the industries that has been affected in the COVID-19 when COVID-19 hit. Now we just probably, I think, 1 year and something since the pandemic hit. When it hit the first time in March in 2020, what were you like? How did that get you? What exactly happened here?
Oh wow! First, I was not here. I was at Upper Hill in Nairobi. That was the first sister branch of Osewe, the one in town. And we expanded into Upper Hill because Upper Hill was is a commercial district, still is. So when COVID-19 hit and everyone was working from home, I was directly impacted because now I could not supply the lunches I'd been supplying. Wow. Yes.
So you do supply, like it's a kind of takeaway?
Yes,
like
delivery. Okay. Actually, we did a lot of office caterings, not even deliveries, whereby we had a lot of financial what can I call them? Maybe financial institutions.
Okay.
Yes, the institutions who would ask for our services. So they would be having meetings, and we would offer the breakfast, we would offer the lunch, and would offer afternoon tea. So when all these people decided to go on Zoom, that meant that they were no longer meeting together. So that meant we were not able to supply. So that sent us directly home.
Wow.
Yes.
So you were really hit with that?
Oh yes, oh yes.
So that means that did your employees then go home?
They had to. I actually was in Westlands, and unfortunately in Upper Hill, and unfortunately we had to close the Upper Hill branch because of that. The biggest people who were sustaining us were those outside caterings. So when you have all your customers not coming,
80%.
exactly. So we could not keep afloat. Yes.
So how many? Because you have different branches.
Yes.
Then how many branches did you have to close down, or rather just shut down for this pandemic?
Initially, we had one branch, which was Osewe CBD. Then we expanded into Westlands and Kisumu. So when COVID hit, our clientele was different, and that's why we decided to expand into Westlands, into Upper Hill, sorry. Our clientele was different. CBD was mainly catering to the walk-in clients, individual clients, but Upper Hill was catering to the financial institutions. So when COVID hit, we had to close it because most of the people were working from home.
Okay, so about the way you've been affected as a hotel industry and as Osewe, you have different branches. Did they face the same fate as the branch that you had in Upper Hill, and where this branch is actually located in?
Oh yes, they did. Yes, they did. Like I remember our town branch at one time was only takeaways, and the nature of our food is you know fish, you need to enjoy your fish as is when it's nice piping hot with your nice hot ugali. Yeah, so they were affected, but they did adjust accordingly. So the CBD branch is still open, located next to Nation Center on Kimathi Street. Then we also have our Kisumu branch, which is located in Tomboya. That one was equally affected greatly, especially them until just the other day. Kisumu curfew was at 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So they've been affected all along.
Oh yes. They've been dealing with the effects, but they have adjusted accordingly. They have outside seating as well. Oh. So social distancing is observed. They have different areas whereby you can wash your hands. Yes. So those are the two branches and this Westlands branch.
So
yes.
In total you have 3 branches.
Yes, we do. Yes.
And all this, do they serve the same thing?
Yes, we do. Yes. We do. Have you tried our fish?
No, not yet.
Oh, you need to. You need to.
I've heard about it though.
Good.
I've heard about
Good.
it, and I must say the review is actually
very good, very good. In fact, one of the most popular fish we have is the coconut fish.
Coconut fish.
Yes,
Wow.
that's when people actually call in to order, like call in to reserve. Yes.
I'm calling Osewe for just coconut.
Yes, if you like coconut, that is the fish to go. If you don't like coconut, we have the wet fish, and my recommendation is with a bit of chili. Wow. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Very
so,
well.
I don't know. What are you known for exactly? Totally. Now it's Osewe. It's a big brand.
Yes.
Because I've heard about it.
Yes.
And but when somebody says Osewe, what comes into their mind? What would you say comes into their mind?
Oh, fish. And our fish is wild caught from Lake Victoria. A lot of establishments have caged fish, but the difference for us, it is wild caught fish.
Wild caught fish.
Yes. So it's tilapia. That one is even sweeter. It's like a chicken, kienyeji and broiler. Wow. Yes, most people say kienyeji has that chicken taste. Yes, 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 definitely. Yes. So we have other foods as well. We have meat, we have chicken, we have fish, we have beef.
So you serve.
Yes.
You are all round.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It was.
Give us. Not mentioning the exact, but what kind of loss did we actually go through as Osewe? Now I'm saying us as if it's ours.
It is. But, everyone who eats at Osewe buys a piece of exactly,
ownership.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So
yes.
What kind of loss did you go through in just that? And in terms of, we'll get to the employees later, but what kind of loss did we suffer?
That was my my biggest one. Okay. I remember my employees asking me, so what happens now? How long are we going to be staying home for? And unfortunately, I didn't have an answer, because I wish I could tell them COVID is like the long rains or the short rains, which is going to be here for a month or a week or two, but I didn't have an answer. And I remember for a good maybe 6 months, I was just at home. Yes, very stressed.
A lot of people, I think, were.
Yes, I think a lot of people, yes, because we were trying to adjust to this new normal. And you know, the worst thing about COVID actually was not COVID itself, is the fact that we were waiting to go back to normal. So everyone was, yes, yes.
Like, probably it will take 2 months.
Thank you.
3 months.
Thank you. Or a year. Oh, no one had that answer. So everyone was like, after COVID, we will get back to normal. So I would speak to some of my clients and I'm asking them, so when do you intend on people coming back to the office? Like, what is your next course of action, so that we can know how we could plan ourselves? And they were like, unfortunately, we don't even have an answer for you. And no one, understandably or honestly, no one could have an answer for you. No one could tell you COVID will be here for 2 months, 2 years, or even 3 years, you know, with a time frame you're able to plan. So yes, that was the biggest, for me, that was the biggest challenge.
Wow. So being in the dark, you're just in the dark because you're working on, you want to get back to work, but you have no idea of exactly how to do that. You have no idea how this thing is going to last. What was going through your mind at that time?
The first few months, I prayed to God a lot. I seeked wisdom, I seeked guidance. And I remember I was speaking to one of my pastors, and I told him, I'm going to need God. I need God to give me clarity. And he told me something very profound, and he told me, you keep seeking for this clarity, but you're going to need to get out there and find your new normal. So my new normal was, I could no longer depend on the outside caterings like I had, especially the office deliveries. I had to do something different within the same line, because that's all I know, which is hospitality, but different. And that's how I came about this property in Westlands. And I was able to focus myself and the restaurant into something a bit not different, but more towards family and food, because families will always eat, you know. So now we are, as much as we're able to cater to the financial institutions and the corporates, we also want to focus a lot on the individual. For example, like you on Sunday after church, if you're looking for somewhere to come to, we have a bouncing castle here. We might have a bit of music. Yes.
So the opening this branch was actually in a way to
a shift. Yes.
A shift.
Yes.
Just to try and balance now to deal with the pandemic.
Oh yes.
At the same time that we are in the middle of a pandemic. Yes. But at the same time, we can stay afloat.
Exactly.
How did that come about? I'm trying to figure out, like, how did you sit down and just figure okay, this could actually be the next thing for me to actually do, so that I do not get to have my business suffer that much. I need to get out there and do something.
You know, when COVID hit, everyone was cooped up in the house. You know, Kenyans, we are social beings. We're very, very social. So we were not very happy with that. We have to be home by 7, and we're not allowed to go to restaurants, and we're not allowed to do this, and there's only a certain number of people allowed in different malls and different places. So I thought to myself, once the place opens up, first and foremost, there's some things that will not go out of, will not give up very soon. You see, washing the hands, social distancing, and those are not things that I could support at the Upper Hill branch. You see, like outside, sitting outside, most people, when we first opened, used to ask, do you guys have outside sitting? You know, because they're very concerned. As much as they do want to go to the restaurant, they're very concerned about the space. So when I was looking for a premises, I was very clear in my mind that we needed some place with outside sitting, so people are more comfortable even when they come to your establishment. They feel safe. Yeah. So
that safety also comes to now just probably the issue of social distancing, now that it has actually, it had been one of the requirements for you to actually have to maintain social distancing.
Yes.
Now, if you had a squeezed space, did you have a squeezed space at Upper Hill?
I had an enclosed space. I didn't have too much outside sitting. Most of the sitting space was inside.
Right.
Yes.
So this was then a shift, and it's actually made sense.
Yes.
Because now if people want to have social distancing,
Oh, yes.
then they can actually
Yes.
do that, right?
Yes.
Wow. Let's talk about now getting back on our feet. People, we just came to a time and we were like, now we need to reopen. We need to reopen.
Yes.
Were you among the people that were actually calling for full reopening of the probably the industries?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
You know, we were very, very scared at the beginning, but we reached a point, everyone was running through their savings.
Yeah.
Everyone was going crazy staying in the house. We reached a point whereby we were like, you know what, we have to reopen at some point. We have to get back to normal.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
need to learn to
exactly. Even when you go through, even as a person, when you go through something tragic, it will take you time, but you have to get back to normal. You know, like when you lose a loved one especially, you are very sad and you're allowed to be sad, but you're not allowed to stay sad. You can't be sad for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So even with the COVID pandemic, yes, it hit us. Yes, we are struggling, we are suffering, but what next?
Okay.
It reached a point where everyone was like, yes, we have to reopen and deal with the consequences. Yeah, it was just that simple.
Deal with the consequences. Were we ready to deal with the consequences? What exactly were we putting in place to actually deal with this kind of consequences that may actually come? For you as Osewe, right? What is it that you say, now I want to reopen, but now to deal with this pandemic, these are some of the things that I have to put in place to ensure that the people that are coming to my hotel or my restaurants are safe. The employees that I have are also safe. What are some of the things that you had in mind and said, we need to reopen, but I'm reopening with a plan?
Yes. The government directives helped a lot because a lot of us, I'm not in the medical field,
Yeah, exactly.
so I was entirely dependent on the government. The washing of your hands, social distancing, testing was a very big one.
Especially for your employees.
Especially for my employees. At the beginning, it was very expensive to test.
Okay.
And I remember I told them it's one of those things we just have to have because it would be grossly inappropriate or irresponsible of us to open, knowing very well that one of our employees is unwell or we are not sure about their status. And we are just exposing our customers to that. So that is one of the things that we were very, very adamant about. Testing, ensuring that we wash our hands, sanitizing. We are constantly sanitizing our tables. In fact, the other day, one of our employees was like, you know, we need to probably have these 5 or 10 liter jerry cans of sanitizer because we can't keep buying sanitizer just as spray bottles. Yes. So those are some of the things that we have to put in place. And now that the vaccine was here, I was like, yes, please sign me up. Yes, finally. Yes. So
those are some of the things that we actually put in place. Now we have a vaccine.
Yes.
Do you encourage that vaccination probably right now to some of your employees and people that?
Oh yes. In fact, I'm always on the lookout to see a place that is offering vaccinations, and I tell them, even tell your family members, tell anyone that you can, today at this and this place they're offering the vaccine. Please go and get it, because I hear a lot of people who are talking about the side effects and we don't know how it's going to affect you.
I was actually having a discussion about that the other day.
Yes.
The side effects and the concerns about it, but we'll come back to that.
Yes. You know, you'd much rather protect yourself now.
Yeah.
So it is either you die now and you prevent the side effects, or you deal with the side effects, but you're alive. Yes. So I think it's one of those things that for me, and I'm sorry to say this, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
So let's talk about now getting back on your feet. When you are hit, because you say you are totally affected.
Yes.
Now getting back on your feet, how has the journey been so far?
So
are we seeing the same like a number of probably customers coming in the way we used to before COVID hit?
No, definitely not. I can tell you that for free. It's not the same. Everyone is still afraid, but it's slowly but surely getting back to the new normal. I don't want to call it back to normal because we're never going back to normal. Yes. Yeah. So
we're getting back to the new normal.
Yes.
Has the journey been? Have you been afraid? You just do you feel like probably it will not be the same before? And how are you dealing with that? Because I feel if you are afraid of, it's an unknown thing. So how have you been dealing with that probably?
Honestly, I take it a day at a time. And I just look at the trends. Like now, what worries me the most is just the increased number of infections and this new strain of Delta virus, this new strain. I'm just constantly planning, because I believe planning to fail, failing to plan is planning to fail. Yeah. So I always keep my ear on the ground. I'm constantly just trying to protect myself, because I believe there's only so much the government can do. There's only so much everyone out there can do. People can advise you, but then you have to heed that advice. So even as employees, we ensure we're just constantly protecting ourselves, protecting our customers especially. Yeah. So those are some of the measures we take.
Now, in terms of now the business itself not being affected, what will be the best way? Now, because now people have been faced by a pandemic. We are still in that pandemic. Now we are planning ahead on probably how to do better next time. So what is it that you feel the hotel industry, or rather the government, should actually be putting in place to make sure that next time probably, which by the way we said there's no
I hope there's no next time.
So in case, God forbid, we have that, what are some of the things that we should have learned from this pandemic that going forward should actually be implemented, and we don't see ourselves probably being affected as an industry to an effect that we have to probably stop people from coming to work. People don't come to the we don't have customers anymore. What are these some of the lessons that we should have learned from this pandemic and actually employ them, so that next time, or rather, God forbid I say again, so that we don't suffer as much?
The way you've rightfully said, I hope there's no next time. But I think spreading your eggs, not putting all your eggs in one basket. You see, the other day, we went to town with one of my friends, CBD, and we were requesting one of the hotels to let us park inside the parking lot. I mean, we were not going into the hotel. We were just going into town about minding our own business. But this is a secondary stream of business. So I feel like some of these properties, let's not limit ourselves to just think that, yes, this is a restaurant and all I can do is just serve food. If you have space, you can rent out the space. You can convert spaces into an office, because nowadays everyone enjoys being outside. If you have an area whereby you can convert into an office, if you have enough parking spaces, if you can use people to be parking at that parking space, like, let's just not put all our eggs in one basket. That is my biggest takeaway. Yeah. So that if one basket is affected, I mean, you have a plan B, and C, and D.
So it's not just a place for some. No. That's what you'll tell people in this industry, right? Yes.
That's yes,
be closed-minded.
Exactly. Because I've seen people deny that establishment denied us parking. That's an extra revenue. You know, if you have, because if the rooms are not being used and you do have extra parking spots, why not just give us for maybe a few hours and make that extra revenue?
It's still, by the way, actually, that's
yeah. So even for me, if somebody comes here and they want to use my property, like maybe to hold an event, why should I deny them the property? I can't say, oh, I'm only a restaurant, and if you're not eating, I'm not giving you the property.
Hopefully next time when you're shooting Thursday Live, we'll come here and do it.
Yes, please. If you ever run out of a property, please. Yes.
Okay, so I just think now as we wind up on this one, still on COVID-19.
Yes.
We're still in the pandemic right now. How long do you feel like you are going to go until you get to where you were before?
My focus is not even to get to where I was, Brian, to be honest. And I think that is where the biggest frustration is coming in. Everyone is hoping to go back to where they were. The hotels are hoping to get back the tourists that they lost. Everyone was affected, the whole world. By the time people are able to save up enough to be able to take holidays, it's going to be a while. So I'm not even closing my mind to thinking that I need to get back to where I am. No. I'm just like, this is the new normal. What happens now? Where am I going now? Yes, yes, this is my new normal. What else can I do? What else is missing? What else is needed? You know, because we can't afford to think that way. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I hope the lessons that you've learned in this pandemic, you get to employ them and just... Me, I'm hoping that you're going to get back on your feet and just be bigger.
We will, definitely.
So that Osewe continues to serve its customers the way it has always been.
Yes.
Thank you so much for granting us this interview and just talking about how COVID-19 has affected the hotel industry.
Yes.
And what kind of lessons we've learned and how to move from that moving forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we have come to the end of this bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for making time for Food Thursday here on Lookup TV. Let's do this again next time. I want to thank everybody that has made it a success, from my directors all the way to the people that have contributed to the stories that we've run today. Next week, we'll be having another feature on food. Have yourselves a lovely night. My name is Brian Amon.